Hi and welcome. We are We the Parents. I'm Leslie.
I'm Katie.
And we are back. Well, Katie's back from Summit.
Woohoo!
I did not go this year. I had too many things happening on the home front. Could not get away. But tell us, was it as amazing as all the others?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was much more. It's like next level. You can just tell as an organization that we're growing and maturing, and a lot of returners, and even the new chapter chairs were like vice chairs before, and so, I mean, it just gives me chills to see it's just amazing to see how. I mean, we're just at a space where we're just growing and getting better, and not as much focus on, just how to be a chapter, but now it's starting to like poke your head up and look and say, okay, well, how can we do the mission and drive the mission and learn from each other, who's doing what, and absolutely incredible and so productive. Absolutely cool. Loved it.
Good. And favorite speaker of the entire weekend?
Ooh. I don't remember her first name, but it's the wife of Benny Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
She took it's honestly probably selfish reason, but taking health and the Maha thing, which I'm super excited about and getting into, and taking that, and then she was so complimentary and so loves Moms for Liberty and so inspiring and encouraging. It was amazing. It was awesome to see her. I think she was probably my favorite. There was a couple chapter chairs that spoke that really, really hit me.
I watched those, yeah.
And then by far, which, watch it on your own, but we're going to do a screening of the movie, but the most moving moment was we all watched the movie 15 Days. And you guys, being put back in that moment, I can't even say it without crying right now. And to see how far we've come. It is such an important moment in history to relive. And to see that there was people just like us all the way on the other side of the United States, not living in a rural area, not living in a city, living in a full-on city, suburban, bustling city, and having to go through this. Almost like we're living parallel lives, city mouse, country mouse kind of thing. But that was their experience. And then what was interesting is our own people being on it, like Jonathan Zackerson. And it was, by the whole time the whole thing was over, there was not even a dry eye in the room. Just taking us back to what we put kids through and all of that. So, gosh, so many amazing moments. I couldn't pick them all, but yeah, definitely. And then we had a lot of legal help show up. And
That's good.
And give us a lot of breakouts of different topics about all the court cases that we're winning right now. And I really don't have time to go into all of them, but the major one that cannot go without saying is Mahmoud v. Taylor. And it, when you win in court case, especially in the Supreme Court, it takes time for that to seep into policy. And so what we want to do and what we're trying to really do is to help that process along with education. And also just to tell you, when you said we don't co-parent with the government, and you said my child is mine and I make the medical decisions for my child, or expand that to education and everything else, and they tried to gaslight you and tell you that wasn't true and you just needed to let the experts do the thing, you were right. Let me say that again. You were right. Because we just won a major court case. It's called Mahmoud v. Taylor. And it's for, so right now we have the lesser magistrate, which is our school boards. And their job now is to create policies so that you can lean on this. But basically what it was is a group of parents, they were given an opt-out from LGBTQ plus materials, and they said it was against their religious beliefs, and they said they would like an opt-out. The school gave them that opt-out, only to take it away and say it was too burdensome to the school district because too many people were opting out, which isn't that like a clue to you that
maybe it shouldn't be in your curriculum in the first place?
Yeah. So then they took the opt-out. Of course, this became a court case. We had help from different organizations to come in and help with this court case. And then we won, and what we won on was that the burden is on the school district, and it's a very, very high burden to not give us an opt-out. Now, we don't know the extent of that. We know in our hearts what the extent of this is. It's everything, okay? It's everything. Mm-hmm. But the courts, because they just made this blanket statement and said it's on the school district to have that threshold be so high that they have to say why they are not giving the opt-out. So you have the opt-out, at least for those books, but you have the opt-out. Maybe this extends to DEI or other things that we're not okay with here in the school district. So there's 21 school district policies that are now illegal in California that California School Board Association put out. And what we have done is that we have worked up new policies of the 5 most egregious ones that we would like to see school districts come in and change. On the flip side of that, we are educating parents on what their rights are and giving them maybe model letters, or it doesn't have to be any special form for you to turn into your school district that shows them that you want to opt your child out of this. And I can tell you there's a lot of power in this, because we need these policies and these things to be relocated to things that we can opt out of. Right. And that will protect our children as well as protect a lot of other children, because they want to disrupt the way our children think and the way that we're raising them about these issues against their own parents' religion and how they want to raise them, which is not okay.
Right. Well, and it's amazing because one of the many reasons that I couldn't go was I've been taking on this stuff going across the state. And one of the things that I did was I went to an event where I was invited to be a speaker. And I told them I have no business being here as a speaker. I was sitting between Sonia Shaw, who is going to be superintendent of California's state education, superintendent of instruction in California.
And you get to vote for her in November 2026?
She is your only choice. Well, the only correct choice. And then I got to sit with Mary Barkey, and she is fantastic. And she's leading up CLEO with California Policy Center. Like, I just felt like I have no space to be here at this table, let alone with these people. And I tried to get out of it. But when something is supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. But really, I was so grateful that I got to be there, because out of it, I learned so much. And we have this ideology that has now become philosophy and is being implemented by our states. And we have to look at, how do we fix this before we go down a road where our country can never recover? And they've always said the only way America will be taken down is if it's taken down from within. The plan is to destroy it from within. Well, how do you do that? You break up the moral society, right? Because our founding fathers made a perfect form of government that they even said this will withstand anything as long as we have a moral society to uphold it, right? So they're breaking down the moral structure of our society by removing God. God does not exist. When God does not exist, there is no argument for morality, right? So they've just completely taken him out. Here's evil. Oh, look, evil, yay. go evil, right? And nobody's even shocked by
evil.
it, right? Oh, well, I mean, I say it facetiously, but that's what's happening.
They're
right?
celebrating.
The
they're
fastest
celebrating it.
growing religion in the United States, the Church of Satan.
So the thing is, when you say they're celebrating, in fact, there's so much. They're beyond them celebrating it. They're asking you to do it as well, and your children.
And your children.
That's the part that, and now it's no longer acceptable to live out your life and your religion. And by the way, let's just have like 1 second where I do the part where I tell you why we are not okay with this. Because we believe that God did not make mistakes when he made people. We also believe that it is a irreparable damage to people's bodies and it leads to cutting off healthy body parts and disrupting our total endocrine system that we need for all kinds of things, mental health, everything else.
Right.
And we believe that it is destructive and it is against our religion. And the reason we're so upset about it, not because our children are transitioning or anything like that, it's because we care about the kids who are transitioned. And we see that they are not living good lives. And they're not on a path of successful lives. We look at the statistics, and they use those same statistics to say why we're bad. We're looking at those and saying, how about we stop this?
Right. Well, and we're watching it destroy, and that's the second thing, right? We take out God, we take out the moral society. The second thing is the family unit. And everybody says the nuclear family unit. If that's what you call it, great. But really, it's the biblical family unit. It is that family that is bound by biblical standards and a biblical framework where the man and masculinity not being toxic leads his family. That structure of the man is the leader, the provider, the mom is the nurturer and the carer and the person who uplifts the man and nurtures the children, and then the children are able to grow and develop the way they were designed to. And when you break all that down and tear it apart, then the women become reliant on the government. You know, the men become reliant on the criminal justice system oftentimes, right? I have nothing else to live for, right? And then the children become reliant on the government, right? And they go down one of those routes, either being raised reliant on the government or down the school to prison pipeline. And either way, you know, government becomes their leader and you know, Ronald Reagan said it best. The 9 most scary words in human history is, hello, I'm from the government and I'm here to help, right? Like, we should not go down that road. We've seen it happen. It never works out. Why are we doing it? And what we're seeing, and, you know, Katie was right. Our religion and knowing and having a belief, but not just that, a relationship with Jesus Christ, knowing your Father in heaven, something about that, just, it closes all the gaps, it fills all the holes. But when you see somebody who is transitioning a child and you see that they're telling that child that there's something wrong with them, right? If you want to, I mean, I'm against it as personally. I don't believe in it as an adult either, because I think that you were made perfectly, and I feel really, really bad that something in your life happened that made you question who you were made to be. But I know adults who have done it, and you're an adult, and we live in the most free and fair and inclusive state country in the world. And if you as an adult choose to do that, we live in a free country, go for it, right? But when you're doing it to a child and you're permanently destroying that child, not only are you permanently destroying that child, but you're permanently destroying people around that child, you know?
Yeah, no, it's where your parental rights are literally checked. Like, that's a time, you know, like a lot of people will say, well, don't you care about parental rights that a parent gets to choose? No. And a doctor also is supposed to say do no harm. I mean, this is, to me, it's something that really needs to be explained, and people need to understand our heart, because we are really, really, really have a heart for these children, and we are trying to make sure that this practice stops. And I really pray that years down the road, we will look back on this time and say, yeah, that was pretty wonky and crazy. Can you
Right.
believe those people did that? And it, and just go, wow, that's something we can learn from.
And the thing is, like, we're watching it destroy our society. We're watching it destroy these children, but we're watching the parents that have those parental rights be destroyed. We have somebody in our organization who, is fighting, and that's the hill they're going to die on because it happened to their family, right? But then I'm watching two men that I love and adore fight that same battle and lose that same battle, and one of them, went on social media and was like, I just cannot do this anymore. Every day I come on here and every day I tell my child how much I love them, and I can't do this battle anymore. And when I went down there to speak, I got to spend time with this dad and see his heart and see how it is destroying him, right? Mm-hmm. And that child's going to grow up and know that their dad never stopped fighting, right? And then we have another dad who lost that battle. And that's a big part of why we lost them, and their kids lost the greatest man they'll never know, or that they ever did know and never will later. It's a huge battle. It's a battle that he fought continuously so his kids will know, I love you the way you were made. I love you truly to your core. And we're watching these battles happen, and it's ravaging people, you know?
They need more help. They need more people to come alongside them. We don't have enough people
It's not a decision that any child should be allowed to make. And it is not a decision that any adult can make for a child. And that is why, after Charlie Kirk's passing, I had so many people in my, realm of my environment that are like, okay, are you going to stop? Like, is this your sign to stop? And I said, are you kidding me? This is my sign to push harder. This is my sign
Charlie
to move further, right? Because I will never have the impact he had. But if I step up and do it and everybody else alongside me steps up and does it, maybe we can have that large of an impact, right? And so on this, going into some of this legislation, on this, I told my mom, she's like, okay, be careful at the Capitol. And I said, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Right? We have this legislation that's coming through California. And this is why I've had to make the change from, can I just be involved locally, or do I need to act bigger? And I have to act bigger. We have to act at the state level. There is harmful legislation that is coming after you and your kids, and it has been signed into law. The beginning of the year is going to trigger. There's like 10 harmful bills that all got signed into law. And as we're watching to see, did they sign it? Did they veto it? What did they do as we're watching it? We're seeing more and more ones we didn't even know about because they were hidden. And I'll get into that in a second. But before I forget, AB 495 being the most egregious of them all.
Yes.
I was scrolling this morning and I landed on a Jack Hibbs video. And he had somebody on and he was talking about what can we as parents do now that this has been signed. And he said, you write a letter to your school, because the law does say that the parents have the say, right? But it also says 3 different times in the letter that it does not require the parent's signature or authorization. So you have to beat that. You have to have a letter on file that says, I will not be sending an affidavit with anybody. I will not be agreeing to, you have to beat that, right? Because even though, that verbiage is in there that the parents have the right to choose, if you don't have something on record and somebody comes in and checks the box that says, I couldn't get a hold of the parents, then the school can say, I'm sorry, I didn't know that they had another choice on file. So you have to write a letter to your school. Again, it does not have to be a big fancy form. It does not have to be, but what they did do and what they did say is send it certified mail. That way you have proof that the school received it and you have a copy of it. Send it certified mail. I, so and so, mother of so and so and so and so, do not grant permission for anyone other than these people to pick up my child ever, period. Sign it, date it, and send it to your school certified mail. The other thing you can do, and we'll talk more about it later, is we're going to have a school walkout. And I want you to join us because we're going to talk about solutions like this. We're going to educate you on that date of what you can do to fight back and push back.
And we're working on the school board level as well. We're crafting policies that are 100% within the law, 100% parental rights, and gives our school districts that don't, and this is nonpartisan, that do not want to be part of this terrible written bill. So we're going to be getting those pushed through as well. So if you have any connections with school board members, or you would like to attend school board meetings to advocate for this, you can learn more about that at the school walkout, or even reach out to us ahead of time, or you want to help us with that school walkout.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about two other pieces of legislation that were passed at the same time, because I don't think that anything is a coincidence. I've been involved in this stuff way too long to think that anything is a coincidence.
It's coordinated.
And this is where, I'm going to just twist my tinfoil till it's a really pretty tiara, because we are past the tinfoil hats. AB 727. That is the law that puts the Trevor Project contact information on the back of every single student body card in the state of California. I believe it's junior high and high school age. The problem with that is the Trevor Project is one of the most unsafe, unmonitored. They say it's monitored, but you can get on, I can get on. Any adult can just get into that space and chat with children. Now, what do you need to pull a kid out of school with AB 495? Do you know what you need? What are the three things that you need?
You just need to not be able to get a hold of the parent, and then you check the box on the paper. And then you just need, I guess you just need the kid to be willing. I just said two things. You just need the kid willing to go with you. That's it.
Right. Well, not so not even that.
It's a piece of paper.
It's a piece of paper. But
and you check
to
the
fill
box.
out the paper, one, you need to know what school this kid's at, right? Because you're going, right?
Oh,
so
easy.
you know what school, you know the kid's name, and you know their date of birth. That's it. That's all you need to know. Well, how do you find those things out? You go on the Trevor Space or any other platform, right? And you start talking to a child. And you say, hey, oh, you're a Pisces?
I feel like
I'm
this
a Pisces
is awful.
too.
Like you're just literally telling
No.
them how to do this.
I'm telling
I
you
know they know
and
how,
letting
but-
parents know this is how easy and unsafe these laws are. And this is how
the
they're
two
connected.
together are so, like, it's like the dream of all
There's
dreams.
no
of
such thing as
predators.
coincidence, okay? I went to an anti-human trafficking summit. I did not think my heart could handle it. I watched and heard these stories. I watched and listened to the people on the front lines rescuing these children. And there is hope that this is ending. We closed the border. The stuff that was happening as kids were crossing the border, the fact that children crossing the border were being used as payment for their families to cross the border. They lost a huge influx of their merchandise, right? And I know it sounds terrible to say it that way, but when you close the border, that's what happened. That industry, the largest industry in our country, human trafficking, lost a huge influx of merchandise. So how do they get it? By coming into our schools and trafficking our children
100%.
legally. By coming in through programs like CPS and trafficking our children legally. How do they do this? Right? So this is what they do. They get on platforms. They find out what school your kid goes to. Hey, do you play football? I used to play football. What's your mascot? Oh, you're in Northern California? Oh, yeah? How hard is it to look up Redding, California? What school's mascot's the pterodactyls? Right? You now know what school that kid's at.
That is
Right?
so true. I
So
mean,
you know
it's
where
so
to find
true.
this kid. You know their name. And then you're like, oh, hey, you're a Pisces too? I'm a Pisces. I'm in March. When are you born?
And
oh, yeah.
if you think that this is like hashtag not my kid, you need to pull your head out of
Right.
the sand, because you also hear of story after story of kids being bullied and
Yep.
committing suicide online from just one day of one person
Right.
telling them they think that they should, and like athletes, like great students, kids that are just like the greatest of all time, and they're literally having these types of things happen to them, and being kind of preened into this. Now the way this works is that Trevor Project, they'll, like, school counselors or different people will refer a child to the Trevor Project. They'll get involved in the groups online, and then they'll be groomed online by these people, and they'll say, oh, well, I identify like you do, and
Right.
they'll ask them personal questions about themselves. But a lot of times it doesn't even have to be where they're being deceptive. The kid will full on be like, hey, I hear you can sign me out of school and I can go with you. And they will. This will
Right.
happen.
And the other
And one
thing
is too many. It's just,
one is too many. If this saves one child, it's worth it. But the thing is, I have a really good friend. We've been lifelong friends, and we do not see eye to eye on a lot of things. But she works in this field of mental health, and we were having this conversation, and she says, why are you so adamantly against it being so available? Resources for children who are struggling with gender dysphoria and identity issues are more prevalently available to them than ever before, right? They have more access than ever before. My issue is, by putting it on every single card, we are asking for an issue. Because the first day I got a cell phone, what did I do? I went and called every single number that I could. Even before that, when I was a kid, I remember being bored at my dad's basketball practice, right? And going to the payphone in the lobby of the basketball gym and calling 1-800-JENNY Craig, right? Because I remembered the number, right? What do kids do?
yeah.
They're bored. They go looking for things. They're messing with things. So say some kid is bored, right? And they have this number readily available to them. They call this number, they go on the website, and then they're like, oh, I could go on here and chat with people. I'm bored. Hi. And they make up information. They make up whatever. They start talking to these people. This is how kids get into those kill groups. This is how kids get into trafficking situations. This is how these kids get into these bullying groups where they get you to come on and say something or do something, and then they blackmail you.
Well, it's
Right?
it's crazy to me, because we all grew up, like, if you have kids right now, you grew up back in the day when they had the big chat groups.
Right.
And the horrible stuff that happened, like in the middle of the night, kids leaving their homes to go with random person being found like near the Mexican border. Like, those stories were prevalent, and they shut those things down because it got so bad.
Right.
Stalking situations, all kinds of
And
weird
now
stuff.
we're putting that contact information on the back of every single card. So for me, it is, we are giving too much access, and we are advertising for something that is not safe. Again, just like 495, if you want it to be what it is written for, close the loopholes. Nicole Pearson showed up every hearing and said, I'm an attorney. I will help you write it. I will help you close the loopholes. I will help you protect our children. Why did they not?
It doesn't make any sense, because when we were at the Capitol and we actually went in and started speaking to the legislators, and we had groups of people with us, many of the people in our group were educators. And
Right.
I can't tell you whether they were on the right or the left. They weren't arguing any right or left talking points.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally there saying, this law really sucks, and you did not think this through.
Right.
As you know, we have it to where parents list out all the people, and you have your emergency people. And
Right.
I've had it to where, someone didn't come up right away to pick up a kid. It was maybe an hour or two after school, and no one was there to pick him up. And we went down the list, and nobody was there. You just figure it out. Like, it's so rare.
Right.
That it ends up working out. Like, I don't understand why we have to have this blanketed law.
Right. And there was the school counselor that was in there. We were talking to a senator, and they were saying, I registered students. Every child was required to have 3 points of contact. Like, when you say this is, but read into the law. You go in there with this affidavit to get a child medical help. You're trying to transition this child. Now the doctor is free of all liability. You have authority to make a decision that is permanent for this child that their parents are not signing off on. And that doctor is protected against your 14th Amendment right to choose the emotional, the physical, and the educational or religious, physical, and educational upbringing of your child.
Yeah.
They are violating your 14th Amendment right as a parent, and they are giving a waiver to do it. Right?
We gotta do something big, and we gotta walk out. It's time. I mean, the last time they tried to do this to us, we said no. We're not gonna let you vaccinate our child. We're not gonna let you kick our kids out of school. Our schools. Those are our schools.
Right.
So now is the time where we're going to say absolutely not. And a lot of people are packing up their garages and they're starting to get ready to move out of California.
Right.
But we don't want you to do that. We want you to fight.
If this stands in California, moving is not the solution, because this is already coming to states like Colorado. This is already coming to other states, right? Anytime something like this happens here, it's probably already coming to Utah. Utah is so asleep at the wheel.
Wake up.
Their legislation is passing, or their legislature is passing legislation that goes against parental rights all across the board. And they have no clue, and they're shocked every time. But they are so asleep at the wheel. This is happening. It's happening here. If we do not stand up, moving will not help. It will spread. And if you don't stand up here, you're not going to know that it's happening there. And if you do stand up, you will save other states from going through what we're going through. If you do stand up, you can save a child from being trafficked. You can save a child from being transitioned against their parents' wishes. You can save a child. And if one child is saved, it's worth it. So on November 19th, either meet us at the Capitol, 9 to 2:30. You will have great speakers. You will be educated. You will find groups to belong with. And if you cannot, and you want to host a satellite event, contact me, ab495walkout@aol.com. Shoot me an email, and we will send you a list of this is what you can do to structure your event. It's super easy. Host an event, have one in your community so that people have somewhere to go and belong. If this is not for you and you don't want to go to a political rally, or you just don't, it's outside your comfort zone, stay home. Turn on movies, eat popcorn, do whatever. Do not bring your kids to school. And to those parents who say, I have a great school, they already said they're going to support us, great. Stand up and walk out for those other kids. Stand up and walk out to save our country, because we need to send a clear message. Across California, you are not speaking for us. We showed up 4,000 strong in opposition to this, and it still got passed, which means your legislature is not working for you and representing you. Your governor is not working for you and representing you. They are representing special interest groups. They are representing evil, and they are fighting against you and your 14th Amendment rights. So show up, hang out, learn something, get involved, get empowered, or stay home in your pajamas, hang out with your kids. If you have to work, team up with other parents and do it together. You watch my kids today, I'll watch yours another time. Do what you need to do. Find a group of friends and keep your kids home. November 19th, do not send your kids to school, because the message we're sending is we, the people, are not okay with this law. We, the people, want AB 495 repealed. I want all 10 laws repealed, but I will settle for AB 495 being repealed as a start. And then what we need to do, and what you will be encouraged and educated and prepped to do, is to start taking back your local control. Start making sure your representatives represent you, and you will be empowered and educated to find out who your legislatures are. Because your assembly people, every single assemblyman, is either terming out or up for re-election 2026. That one does not alternate. The entire assembly gets wiped clean. So every single one.
Yeah, huge opportunity to change California.
Every single one. Do you know what we can do if we take over the assembly? Right? And then half your senators are up for election.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's not the year of the incumbent. I'm just saying that.
And I'm telling you.
In the assembly.
I'm
School
telling
board,
you.
Different story.
The assembly members, even the ones that voted no, did not do enough. There should have been more of them out there with us. There should have been more of them standing up. I think Carl DeMaio and Shannon Grove are the only ones that I saw standing up on this issue saying, this does not make sense. Tell me what this means. Tell me. There might have been one other who's the really young guy. He might have spoke out too, but 2 or 3 of them, right? We could have killed it with 2 more votes in the Senate. We need more people standing up, fighting for what's right, even if they're fighting alone.
So, we've done this before, you guys. This is not the first time, and there's hope. When a bad law passes, we can get it to quietly go away. Of course, there's not going to be a big splash. You're not going to get a attaboy or any of that. But it happened with the mandates. We won, and they were dropped.
And we didn't find out till a year and a half later, 2 years later.
That we were the reason because of our walkout. So we can do this. We've got this.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
And then the other side note, we got to split the state. Let's get legislators that want to split the state, because it's so time. I mean, you got to be ready by now with this stuff happening.
Right.
And I don't want to hear it can't happen, because anything can happen.
Well, and so here's the other thing that I want to tell you. I need more people to get involved. We need more people to get involved. We need
to get
you
involved.
to run for local school board. We need you to show up to your school board meetings and start asking questions. We need you to run for city council. We need you to run for board of supervisors. We need you to run for state assembly. We need you to run for state senate. We need you to run for national offices. But we need you to act. And if you are not somebody who can be put into office, people tell me all the time, I'm at a meeting and I say something and I'm passionate and they're like, you should run for office. No. This is a 90s mood ring, and it tells you everything I'm thinking, everything I want to say that I can't, right? But if I don't run for office and I can back 20 people who will, I can make such a bigger impact. So if that is your personality, join us. Join Moms for Liberty. Come to our monthly meetings. Join our legislative committee. Help us watch, because here's what's happening. We are watching. And as we're watching, as these bills were being signed, we get a text message. Hey, what was SB 450? So I Google it. Well, I grok it, right? What is SB 450? What are you talking about? It's about housing. No, it's not. It's about adoptions. No, I looked it up. Even what is SB 450 2025? Enacted January 1st, 2025. It's about housing and apartments and Fair Housing Act, something. I'm like, what are you talking about? Right? What other SB, because they reuse all of these numbers, they make government confusing on purpose. Okay, again, there's no coincidence. They make government confusing on purpose so you don't ask questions. This is government for the people, by the people.
And of
right?
the people.
And of the people.
That's why we need you
And now
to
they
work
have bureaucrats, not people, bureaucrats who have something to gain. They make it confusing so it's not for the people. And they make it to where, as I made these videos about these laws that are passed, they're like, people are commenting, I never voted on that. You don't get to. So it is not by the people either. You elect a legislature
So I'm
that
curious,
acts
this
for you.
housing law, what is it?
Okay, sorry, I got rabbit trailed.
I'm just sitting here on the edge of my
So
seat going, oh
you
gosh,
have
I'm
to
scared.
look it up. SB 450 2025 2026. You have to be very specific as it relates to adoption. What it does is it expands the jurisdiction of California courts to other states so that people who are
okay,
adopting,
we're just California, so we tell other states what to do.
there's already a pact with these other states. So when we say these bills in California are harmful to the rest of the nation, we're not kidding. These other states have already agreed to
That
this.
everything California signs, we will sign.
No, but that they will honor the jurisdiction of that court. So when a parent comes here and you have an affirming parent against a non-affirming parent, that jurisdiction of the court here in California will stand and expand out to other states. That parent who wants to transition that child will go into those other states.
Wow, you
And
guys,
so,
wow.
but that one was hidden. I have an app that we pay for every year that tells us about legislation. It was buried. This bill was so buried by everyone. It was buried by the internet. It was buried by your lawmakers. It was buried.
Wow.
Why? This
There's
is
not
why
enough-
we need you involved.
There's not enough of us. I mean,
We
we
need
can't do
people
it all.
involved.
Anyway, yeah, we've got a legislative committee, California-wide legislative committee. Contact Leslie. She's the chair of our legislative committee, and I'm on the executive board. So we're just trying to kind of get this thing off and running, and we want to do it well. So it's a good time to get involved on the ground, hit the ground running with us, and work with us
Yes.
statewide.
We are one of the
help
few.
us build this. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and we are one of the few states that doesn't have a legislative session that like breaks. A lot of states, they do this work for a short period of time and then they break and recess for like a 6-month period. We break for, I think it's like 4.5 weeks. So the legislative session resumes the very beginning of December. And so we have new laws, new bills that are going to start circulating. Now is the time to start paying attention. We are going to have our very first ever legislative day. So come to the walkout on the 19th. Find out how you can get involved because we are going to go to the Capitol and we are going to meet our lawmakers there on the front steps of the Capitol and talk to them about what we want to see for this next entire legislative session, because we want to let them know that we want parental rights to be in the forefront. And if it's not, we are going to replace them.
I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Sorry, I get a little passionate.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Definitely. This is what's needed. We need
Yep.
more. We need more help.
And
that's
the
for sure.
local stuff is just as important. Start showing up, support the board members who are doing the work, and think about running. We need so many good people at all levels of government.
We're planning a winning workshop in February. We'll teach you how to win your school board election. We'll teach you, even if you're already a school board member, we'll go through the process. We're going to have someone from National Moms for Liberty, who is a professional campaign manager, come and give a presentation. So hit us up about that too if you're thinking about maybe you just want to test the waters and try it out.
Yep.
It'd be kind of cool.
And Clio has a great process. You can sign up. It doesn't cost anything. And what they do, I love how Mary explained it at the event that we were at. They give you all the reasons not to run for school board so that if you know that you can handle all of that, then you've got what you're made of or what you need to be made of to do it. And you already know the worst case scenarios up front. And then they prepare you in depth. They give you trainings. They give you all the stuff you need.
Is it like, if you hate reading, don't be a school board member?
I haven't read it yet,
If
so I don't know.
you don't want to read an agenda, don't be a school board
I haven't
member.
seen it yet,
Come
but
on, like,
the
it's
way
supposed
she was
to be humor in
describing it was so intriguing for me because I'm like, ooh, I love when people try to talk me out of something, right? Like, I'm that person that, like, just because you tried to talk me out of it.
I thought it would be in a joke because, like,
No.
she's obviously not trying to talk people out
No,
of
she's
it, but
not.
There
But
are a certain group of people I can think of that I would like to talk out of
Right.
it, like the ones who think that they can just
but how many
not read
times?
their agenda.
No, I think it's genius because how many times have we put our name behind a candidate only to go, right? Like, how many times? Because you have somebody who
people
says
disappoint.
things, right? I stand for this. And then we'll go up there and do the
Like
opposite.
they'll not like, they'll just not work.
Right.
Not do the research.
Not do the
That's
work.
part I don't
So
like.
when you start off with this is the expectation, I love that. I think moving forward, everybody needs to know this is the expectation. There is no such thing as a rubber stamp moving forward. That's how we got into this place.
Yeah, I wouldn't even, honestly, like, I would even support somebody who was just a reasonable person who would want to, like, I wouldn't even know what their political leanings were, but they were somebody who was going to read it and look for truth.
Right.
That to me is great because there's no way if people actually read this stuff and realize how many times my husband has called out Shasta County Office of Education for half sheets of paper or pieces of paper that were like half
Right.
printed on, couldn't even read, or mumbo jumbo, or
Numbers
misspelling,
missing.
numbers
Yeah.
It's because he actually reads it. So
Well,
it's like,
and
vote Arthur Gorman 2026.
it's a nonpartisan issue to get involved in education. And it really is. I mean, think about it. And I'm not going to say the school or the district or anything on purpose. But we had an election happen and we had somebody come into a seat and we were told, oh, met with them. Don't bother. They lean so far the other way. And then they voted with us on certain issues because it didn't make sense. When the presentation came in front of them and they read the packet and they asked the questions, it didn't make sense. And so
Turned out to be a spectacular board member.
amazing, right?
Hands down one of the best.
But
yeah.
so, I mean, this truly is a nonpartisan issue. If you are willing to say, does this have anything to do with reading, writing, math? Are our kids going to get better from this? Show me how a history of all of this junk is making our kids better. If the answer is it's not, and you're willing to go up and say, well, then let's get rid of it, I'm going to vote for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to tell other people to vote for you.
Pretty cool. I'm excited. So yeah, we'll help you out. We'll get you access to a top elite campaign manager that will help you to just give you a 100% winning strategy. We're looking at doing that sometime in February. So go on to momsforliberty.org. You'll find Shasta County lit up like beautiful, beautiful golden yellow.
Christmas tree.
And you click right there on, you'll find our chapter. There's a way that you can apply. You do not have to pay money. You can have a free membership. You can show up to our meetings. Our meetings are every second Thursday of the month. We also are running a biblical citizenship class right after. That'll help you, arm you with all you need about the Constitution in a fun and lively and amazing way with Rick Green and Jackie
But starting
LaBear.
next month, that changes to be
the 250th anniversary edition, which is extremely exciting with Jackie Lovavera as our coach. And it's a brand new series. I haven't even seen it. You haven't seen it. It's all brand new. So come check us out. We'll be running that for 4 months until we start the brand new 250th as we approach the 250th anniversary of America. So that's exciting.
Yep, super exciting. There are huge things happening. So go to momsforliberty.org, get involved. If you are not in Shasta County, you can find your county. If there's not one, contact us and we will help you through walking you through setting up a chapter or getting you in touch with people close to you. Also, you can join legislative committees in any state. If you are fighting this stuff and it bothers you, you used to be a California person, so you watch our show, but you moved and you left and you want to fight this battle on your home front, you can do that. We'll get you involved. So contact us, send us a message, write a comment. As always, we would love to engage.
Well, with that, it's good to be back, and I'm excited to see you at one of our meetings as we embark on our initiatives moving forward, helping people understand that Mahmoud v. Taylor just reinforces our rights we already knew that we had. We're going to be fighting 495. We're going to do a walkout. We're continuing our meetings, and we're working hard on our legislative committees. So hit us up anytime you can.
Sounds good.